Mataji, please.
It is fine, Prabhuji. It is okay.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How about now, Mataji? Now is it better? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, it is good.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity. First, we will go through the sloka. Hare Krishna. Just share my screen. Till 56 has to be covered, correct? Yeah. So I request quickly, like someone to read the sloka and translation.
Matajis and Prabhujis, please volunteer for reading. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I read, Mataji?
Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji.
please, Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Atotajam upayatam nridevam pranatam pura saparyaya paryagrhnat pratinandyanurupaya. Translation also, Prabhu?
Yeah, please, Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Translation: seeing that the monarch had come to this hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benediction and received him with due honor. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is the meeting between Kardama Muni and Swayambhu Manu. That is what we are going to see here. The next sloka, Shilpa Mataji, can you please read the sloka and translation?
Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Pranam.
Grihitarhanamasinam samyatam prinayan munih smarana bhagavadadesham ityaha shlakshanaya gira. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent. Recalling the instructions of the Lord, Kadama then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet essence. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Next, Shanti Mataji, can you read? Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Nunam Shankramanam Deva Sadam Samrakshanayate Vadhaya Cha Sadam Yasvam Hare Shaktirhi Palini. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demons, since you embody the protecting energy of Sri Hari. Thank you.
Here, the Kadama Muni is glorifying Swayambhu Manu. So, Kadama Muni being the Brahmana and Swayambhu Manu being the Kshatriya. It is very mutual understanding, like, and the glorification between Brahmana and the Kshatriya, which is very, very unique and very good to prosper the society. That we will see in the slides. Hare Krishna. Next sloka.
Sudha Mataji, you can read the shloka and translation, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yeah.
Yorken Vagindra Vayuna Yamadharma Prachetasam Prachetasam Rupani Sthana Adhaste Tasmai Shuklayate Namaha. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You assume, when necessary, the part of the sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god Yama, the god of punishment Dharma, the god of piety, and Varuna, the god presiding over the waters. All obeisances to you, who are none other than Lord Vishnu. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. And Kadamuni is glorifying the King Swayambhu Manu about his glories, like he is none other than the representation of Lord Vishnu. Then this sloka I'll quickly read. Nayada ratam astas ataya jaitram maniga ganapitam Vishpuraja Chanda Kodankao Tatena Trasayam Magagan Swasainya Charana Kushum Mepayan Mandalam Buvaha Vikarshan Brahatim Senam Maniva Tadaiva Setavaha Sarve Varnashramani Badantaha Bhagavat-rachita rajan vidyeran batata dashyubhihi. So the translation, if you did not mount your victorious jeweled chariot, those whose mere presence threatens culprits, if you did not produce fierce sounds by the twangling of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like the brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet cause the globe of the earth to tremble, then all the moral laws governing the varnas and ashramas created by the Lord Himself would be broken by the rogues and rascals. Okay, he is again Kadam Muni is glorifying the greatness of Swayambhu Manu as how he is protecting the righteousness, like okay, the dharma in this particular world by doing various varnashrama dharma properly. Okay, if he is not protecting the varnashrama dharma, if he is not taking care of all the general mass of people, then the rogues and rascals like okay, would be glorified, and the degradation of the varnashram dharma like would be growing. Like that is what he is saying. So 55th sloka. Can I request Krishnamurti Prabhu to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Adharmascha samedheta lolupervaikuntha shurnabihi shayane tvayi lokoyam dasyu vinangshati. Shall I read translation, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please, Prabhu. Yeah.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. If you gave up all thought of the world's situation, unrighteousness would flourish. For men who hanker only after money would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack and the world would perish. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranams Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Pranams Prabhuji. Yeah. Pranams Prabhu. Yeah. Again, like the same glorification by Gadam Muni to Swayambhu Manu. Then the last sloka of this chapter. Shobha Mataji, can you please read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is that pronounced?
Hare. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. 1 minute Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Athapi kachetvam vira yat artam tvam ihagatah tatvayam nirvyala likhena pratipatyamahe prida. Should I read the translation, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please, Madam. Yeah.
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose for which you have come here, whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation. Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Yeah, okay. Hare Krishna. With this chapter getting over. Yeah. So again, once again, I welcome you all for this Sangha, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak about the glories of the Lord. I'll start with the prayers like a Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye nashtraprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistake krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda gopakumaraya govindaya namo namaha. I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis so that the right word comes at the right moment, which would be beneficial for all of our spiritual progress. Hare Krishna. So I just prepared the one of the presentation. So as Mataji requested to talk about the whole 21st chapter summary, because this 21st chapter is very, very important in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, because it is giving the introduction of like okay the Swayambhu Manu's the lineage. Okay, it is starting from here. So let us start here. Hope you are able to see my screen. Yeah.
Yes,
As we all know, so before reading anything, we have to understand the purpose why we are reading. What is the purpose of reading, and what is in it for me? Like what I'm going to gain. What is the benefit for me? So let us have like some history behind like okay, what is the purpose? Why we are reading? Why we have to read the Srimad Bhagavatam, and from that like what we can take it. So that is how like we will deal. So we all know like a Srimad Bhagavatam is the representation of Krishna's body. Okay, it is the Amala Puran, and the Canto 1 and 2 represents the lotus feet, and 3 and 4 like it represents thighs. Canto 5 represents navel, and chapter 6, sorry, Canto 6 like it represents the chest, and Canto 7 represents Canto 7 and 8 represents arms, 9 represents throat, and 10 represents the lotus face, and 11 represents the forehead, and 12 the canto represents the head of the Supreme Lord. Okay, in that Canto 1 and 2 talks about the main thing is like the introduction, which is the Sarga and the Visarga and the Poshana. Okay, how the whole creation is happening. Like okay, it is giving the introduction. Then the Sarga is been Sarga and Visarga, like a primary and a secondary expansion, been explained in the third and fourth canto. So what we are seeing here in the third canto, like it is about Sarga, how the whole material universe is like okay coming from Lord, how Lord is creating like a Brahma, then from Brahma like a to Manu, Swayambhu Manu, like okay, how many Manus are there, and all those details like the whole of subsequent creation by Brahma, Manu's pastime of Lord Varaha, all those things we are seeing in the third and fourth canto. In the fifth canto, like it will be Sthana, which is a geography of the universe, description of like a Bhumandal and the structure of the universe being explained. Okay, then in the sixth canto, the Lord's protection to the people who transgress like the laws of Dharma and devotees. Okay, the Ajamila, Indra, and the Chitraketu, all those things like have been explained in the sixth canto. Seventh canto and the eighth, like okay, it is talking about Uti and Manmantra. Uti is like okay, the auspiciousness, and the inauspiciousness like inclination. It is about the what to say, like okay, Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu, all those things like have been explained over there. Then in the Manvantra 8th canto, it is like okay about the dynasties of the Manu, activities of the Lord during various Manvantras. In the ninth, like it is Ishanukata, topics related to like a Lord's devotees are described, like a description of Sun and Moon dynasty, like this where like a Lord Rama Avatar be explained over there. Okay, then in the 10th canto, like it is talking about the Ashraya, where the Lord's Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan, which is like at the topmost in the whole Shrimad Bhagavatam, and Mathura, Dwaraka, Hastinapur, Krishna's opulence, all those things have been explained in the 10th canto. The 11th canto, like it is talking about the Mukti, which is liberation, which takes like a shelter of Lord's lotus feet, prescribed like a disappearance of Krishna, the other dynasty. Then the 12th canto, like the Lord's head would be explained, like a universal annihilation, liberation of like okay Parikshit, and the activities of like a Markandeya, all those things. So we have to understand like which canto we are reading and what is being explained over here. So here in the third canto, like the Sarga and the Visarga being explained in detail. Okay. Next. So the layered conversation, like how in Shrimad Bhagavatam, a lot of layered conversation is there. First, Lord Krishna is speaking to Brahma, only 4 sloka, correct? Like okay, Agam Eva Sam Eva Gray, like okay, those 4 slokas, 29, I think 33 to 31 to those sloka, like okay, 4 sloka. Then he's saying like okay, you expand it. Okay, then Brahma is speaking to Narada. Okay, he is explaining to Srimad Bhagavatam, and Narada speaking to Vyasadeva in the banks of Saraswati, because when Vyasadeva compiled all the 4 Vedas, like still he was not satisfied. Then Narada Muni is appearing, and he is saying that okay, since you didn't glorify the activities of the Lord, like in the pastimes of the Lord, that is the reason like you are still on the greed, like okay, you are not fully satisfied. So you need to glorify the pastimes of the Lord, like okay, then you will be satisfied. So that is how like he is speaking to Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva speaking to Sukadeva Goswami in the village. Initially, Sukadeva Goswami was like okay, kind of impersonal, where he was not ready to come out from the womb of his mother. Then after that, like he is coming out, but still he is not getting interacted with anyone. But once he hears like okay, the slokas taught by Vyasadeva to like his disciples, then while hearing that, like okay, he's getting the attraction towards the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he is hearing from Vyasadeva. Then Sukadeva Goswami, like he's speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, while Parikshit was cursed by like the son of the Rishi, that like he will die in 7 days. So at the time, he's asking like he's assembling on the banks of Ganges. That like okay, what I need to do. Then Sukadeva Goswami coming uninvitedly like over there, and he is speaking the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then in that particular assembly, Sutta Goswami was hearing that. Then Sutta Goswami speaking to sages scattered by Shaunaka rishis on the banks of like a Gomati river, which is Naimisharanya. Okay, so that is the reason like in the whole Naimisharanya, it has been represented in the what is it, like in the forest format, all the places like in Naimisharanya, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam being spoken. Then Vaishampayana like venerated to King Janamejaya, like a Parikshit's son, because he wants to know like how his father got the problem, his problem, and like how he been bitten by the snake, like then the whole thing was like explained over here. So these are the various narrations, like okay, so we are also very fortunate like to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, where we are ever indebted like to Srila Prabhupada, because during his later days, like he was kind enough to refer all the acharyas commentaries, and he put a word-to-word translation, and he put a translation like the whole details of purport, where he referred Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, all those slokas, like okay, he referred, and he given the details of like okay, Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are ever indebted to ISKCON as well as like okay, Srila Prabhupada. Okay, so the third canto is first like okay, first 4 chapters we know like it is talking about Sarga and Visarga. The third canto, initial 4 chapters, like okay, it is a conversation between Vidura and Uddhava. So Vidura is asking like he's remembering after the war everything got over, like he complete his pilgrimage, and he's coming and asking like to Uddhava, where he's remembering Krishna, like is remembering the Krishna's pastime in Vrindavana. Then he is initially like approaching Uddhava. How, please like tell me the glories of the Lord. Then Uddhava says like better than me. You can approach Maitreya, because like okay, Uddhava and Maitreya were the one like who presented, who were present like while Krishna before Krishna was like leaving from this material world. So Uddhava says, okay, better than me you can approach Maitreya, who can explain you better, because he was of the same age of like Vidura. So he says, okay, you approach Maitreya. So on that request like of Uddhava, Vidura is approaching Maitreya. And initially like he was asking the glories of the Lord, and like how the whole universe been created, and how Brahma came, like then Swayambhuvanu came. Then Maitreya is explaining like the creation of the universal form. So how from Lord like okay all the Mahavishnu comes, then from Mahavishnu like how Garbhodakshaya Vishnu comes, from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu like how the Shirodakshaya Vishnu comes, and how like okay then Brahma comes. Okay, from Brahma, how he creates the whole universe, and the calculation of like okay the time, and the atom, like okay all those things he is explaining. Then the chapter 12 to 19 he's talking about like okay the whole of Varaha avatar, where the creation of the Kumaras, like okay then how Kumaras been like cursed by the Jay and Vijaya like been cursed by the four Kumaras, and how Diti is getting pregnant, like okay then how the whole of Varaha avatar, like okay Rakta avatar, and the whole of Varaha avatar, and appearance, and how he is killing like the Hiranyaksha. So all those things been explained, which we have seen already. Then chapter 20, like it is a conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. Other again, like he's talking about okay how the whole of Brahma's sons, like Swayambhu Manu and the other Manus, like have been created, and how their lineage and like the history being requested to explain. Okay, that is how we are landing into the 21st chapter in third canto, which is happening as a conversation between Manu and Kardama Muni. Okay, so this Vidura asking Maitreya Muni, like he's asking four questions. One is enlighten me about the supreme knowledge about yourself. Like okay, yourself means he's saying you got the knowledge from Krishna, like before Krishna leaving from this material world. Please enlighten, like okay, the supreme knowledge which you got it from Krishna. Then that which Krishna told you, like okay. So Vidurji asked Bhagavatam, which Krishna told to Brahmaji, like okay, because that is what been explained by Krishna to Maitreya Muni. Before he was leaving, like okay, from this material world. Then if you think I deserve it, like okay, so he's not the Maitreya Muni also not asking like okay, or Vidura is also not asking okay, please explain to me. They are just testing themselves whether I deserve it or not, like to hear that, because this is the supreme knowledge. Like first we need to uh, deserve, like to get that knowledge. For that deservance, okay, we need to submissively, like okay, we need to have the humbleness and the submissiveness, like okay, to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he's saying like if you think I deserve it, like okay, please pass it down to me. Your servants of Krishna wander to serve the interests of other servants. Like okay, so that is how, like if you take any sannyasi or any great like okay, acharya, they always dedicated their life like okay, to serve for others. How I can pass the knowledge of Krishna, that paraspara katanunam. Okay, so how I can pass the knowledge to others, like okay, how I can help others to know about Krishna's glories. Like that is the important thing, like which we have to pass it to others. Like okay, so that is very very important. Because like a time is impersonal, eternal feature of the Lord, but how and why it is associated with temporary material creation. So that is what he wants to understand. It is continuously moving and witnessing like a creation, maintenance and annihilation. The time it is monitoring and recording all of our action. If we have the desire to hear, then it is being recorded by the time, like in our whatever, like okay, in our devotional service. So we have to understand, and we have to dedicate our life like to hear more about it. Okay, that Atma Kritam, we are the reason for our own actions, as Brahma says. Why God is like okay, unkind thinking to go away? Like okay, we should not think that okay, why Lord is giving me this opportunity of like okay, suffering. No, God is giving like okay, everything for a reason. So we are assembled here like to hear about the Lord, So that has been recorded by the time, like in our book. Okay, that is very important. So because like the world is created for our repentance, like whatever mistakes we committed, for that particular thing, like the world is created, and we have to do the penance by hearing this Shrimad Bhagavatam, by chanting, by serving the Vaishnavas, by reading the scriptures, like then we have to go back to the spiritual world. So this is the purpose for our reading. Like why we are reading? Because we have to do our repentance and we have to do the penance. That is the importance of and how all these being explained, we have to understand. These are the benefits of hearing Shrimad Bhagavatam. Shinvadam Svakata Krishnaga Punya Shravana Kirtanaga Hridiyantustohi Abadrani Vidnodi Sugarsadam. So it cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who was developed to urge to hear his messages. In 1.77 also, Yashyam Vaisruyamanayam Krishne Parama Purushe Bhakti Rutpadyade Pumsaga Soka Moha Bhayapava. Simply by giving oral receptions, like before hearing, we have to have that interest, or like a tatra laulyam apimulya ekalam. So that desire to hear has to be there. Then the feeling for love of devotion service will sprout from the heart, like which will extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Then the benefits of hearing also, like Shenvada Shraddhaya Nityam Granatasta Swati Kalena Nati Bhagavan Vishate Rati. Shri Krishna will manifest in their hearts within a short span of time who has taken Srimad Bhagavatam very seriously. That is very, very important, and it is very regularly. It is not like on and off. Like it has to be a nityam. Shraddhaya first we have to have like the full Shraddha, then Shranvata, like we need to hear, then nityam, it has to be like a nityam, then Swachetism is possible. So what is in it for me? Like these pastimes are described like to attract the conditioned souls like us, like to experience the love of the God, reminds us like to remember Krishna, and we have to appreciate, and we have to get attracted, then we have to get aspired to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Like realize the Krishna consciousness by using the realized like via the spiritual master. So these are the benefits. We know what are the benefits, why we need to hear, how the whole the third canto like been coming into the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, that also been explained over there. So Krishna Bhakti Rasabhavida Matiki. So Tatra Laulyam Apimulyam Ekalam, that also we have seen. Tatra Laulyam Apimulyam Ekalam, that intense greed to obtain it, like it has to be there. That is very, very important. It has to be there without a delay. It has to be purchased like without a delay. That is very, very important. We have to engage all our senses. One second. Very good. Yeah. Sorry for the trouble, like because my daughter is just disturbing. Yeah. So we have to engage all our senses like in the service of the Lord. Next. So this is the whole Manvantara like been represented. So how life of Brahma, because the third canto is explaining like the details of the Brahma's creation of Brahma, like how he is further creating. So life of Brahma, like we know, like he lives for 100 years, which is nothing but like the time between one inhale and exhale of like Mahavishnu. So year of Brahma, like in each year, like he has 12 months. In each month, like there would be 30 days. In the 30 days, like yeah. So in each day of Brahma, there would be like 14 manvantara. So already 6 manvantara like been passed. We are in the 7th manvantara. Like the Swayambhu Manu is the first manvantara. So now we are in the 7th manvantara, which is like Vaivashvata manvantara. So in that, like the 28th Divya Yuga, So each manvantara has like, okay, 71 Divya Yuga. Okay, in that 28th Divya Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and we are in that 28th Divya Yuga. So current time in Brahmaloka is like approximately like 1140. Okay, so the 71 Chatur Yugas are like a one Manvantara. 14 Manvantara is like a one Kalpa. So 360 days of Brahma is like a one Brahma Varsha, which is nothing but 311 trillion 40 billion years. Okay, so that is how the whole representation of the Manvantara, then the Kalpa and the Manu, all those things okay, been explained. So we are in the seventh Manvantara, which is Vaivasvata Manu. Then after that, like okay, there is going to be like another seven Manus would be there. Like okay, that would be the future Manvantara. Okay. Okay. Then this is the whole representation of like a Lord Brahma and the Kalpa and the Manvantara, Divya Yuga, like all those things in explained. So this is a Brahma lifetime calculation, like it has been already explained in the past. Yeah. So I'll just move in detail. Okay, I'll move quickly. So this is the Shrimad Bhagavatam family tree. How Krishna from Krishna, like a Lord Brahma comes. Okay, born from the Garbhodakashai Vishnu, like an expansion of the Krishna. Okay, from him the Swayambhu Manu, like okay, comes. Swayambhu Manu is the son of Brahma. So his wife is like a Satarupa, and they have like a 5 children: Priyavarta, Uttanapada. Then those are like a 2 sons, and 3 daughters like a Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti. Okay, so their whole of lineage is been explained in the 3rd canto from 21st chapter till 5th canto 15th chapter. Okay, from 3.21 3rd canto 21 chapter till 5th canto 15th chapter, the lineage of Priyavarta, Uttanapada, Akuti, Prasuti, and Devahuti been mentioned over there. Okay, so we are in the Swayambhu Manu 3.21, where like okay, Devaguti's lineage been explained over there. Okay, how Devaguti got married to Kardama Muni, like okay, and they we get like okay, the Kapila Muni, the representation of the Lord, like okay, so how it has been explained. So that we'll see here. In the Vaivasvata Manu, like okay, again the whole of details been like okay, how the whole of their this one like okay, the lineage being explained like okay, that we are not covering now. So we will cover like okay, only in the Devaguti's lineage. Okay, so that is what being explained. So this is the representation of like the whole of Shrimad Bhagavatam family tree, about Manu, Brahma, how they come from like a Krishna, and various other characters like how they are connected to like okay, Krishna, because we all know like okay, we are coming from the bona fide parampara of the family, like how we are all connected. So which segment we are connected, like that will be understood. Okay, from this family tree. So like I mentioned, like a 3.3rd canto 21st chapter till 33rd chapter, like a lineage of Devaguti been mentioned. Then 4th canto, 1st to 7th chapter, lineage of like a Prasuti and Akuti been mentioned. Okay, been explained. The 4th canto 8th chapter till 31st chapter, lineage of Uttanapada been explained. Okay, then 5th canto, chapter 1 to 50, like a lineage of Priyavarta Maharaj. Like okay, so that is where you will see like a Bharata Maharaj and King Nabi, so Agni Deva, like a all those things will be explained over there. Okay, then 3.21, like it is 21 to 24, 4 chapters. It is talking about the Grahastha life of like a Kardama Muni and the Devahuti. So that is what we mentioned over there. Okay, that is what we are going to see. How Kardama Muni, like okay, getting the desire to get a beautiful wife, like okay, then how that has been sanctioned by the Lord, and how he is meeting like a Swayambhu Manu, because Devahuti is Swayambhu Manu's daughter. Okay, and Kardama Muni is the son of Lord Brahma. Okay, so in the 21st chapter of third canto, so the contents would be like, okay, first Vidura inquires about Manu. Okay, then Kardama gets like a Lord's darshan. Kardama's prayers being explained over there. Then Lord speak to Kardama. Then Lord departs like okay. Then Manu arrives, like a Swayambhu Manu arrives. Then because all these things are happening in the Bindu Sarovar, because Kardama Muni is like okay performing the austerity in the Bindu Sarovar like for 10,000 years. Then how Kardama been received by Manu, like that is what we have seen now, like how Kardama is glorifying the activities of like Swayambhu Manu. So first Vidra is inquiring about Manu. Vidra is inquiring to Maitreya Muni. We know like the conversation. Hope we are able to understand like from Brahma to Narada, and Narada to Sukadeva Goswami, from Sukadeva Goswami to like Sutta Goswami. Sutta Goswami is explaining to the sages of Naimisharanya, okay, headed by Swanaka Rishi, and that has been like okay explained in that the conversation of Vidura and Uddhava, and Vidura is asking to go to Uddhava is asking to go to Maitreya Muni, and Maitreya Muni is explaining this to like a Vidura. So Vidura is asking like, can you please explain like the dynasty of Manu, how they are coming from like a Brahma, and how their lineage been explained. How did like a Priyavrata and Uttanapada like a protect the earth? Okay. Then in the third and fourth sloka, he's talking about how Devahuti, like who is the representation of Yoga Lakshana, and Kardama Muni, like a Maha Yogi. He's the representation of the Maha Yogi. How they got a chance to meet, and like okay, how their lineage been like okay carried forward. Can you please explain? Okay, but then he's asking about like a Ruchi and Daksha also. Please explain. It is nothing but like the whole of the Swayambhu Manus, like okay, 2 sons and 3 daughters. Their lineage, like can you please explain in detail? So Kardama Muni in the 6th sloka, like it has been mentioned, Kardama Muni is like performing the austerity for 10,000 years. Okay, Kardama Muni, he's a son of Lord Brahma, and he's the great sage Brahmana, and he wants to purify himself before getting into the instruction to fulfill the instruction of his father, because Lord Brahma told Kardama Muni, you have to you have to get the married life, okay, and you have to create the progeny, and you have to increase the population in this material world, because he got that instruction from Lord Krishna, correct? Like okay, you have to expand this material universe, like okay, by creating the progeny. So that is how like before engaging in the particular material life, he's purifying like his senses, and he's doing the tapas for 10,000 years. Like okay, can we imagine? We can't even do the tapas for like okay 10 minutes or so. So he happily performing the austerity for 10,000 years. Okay. He performed the bhakti in trance, like a propitiated the Lord, like a prapanna Varadashram. Like okay, he was fixed in his duty, and he was doing it like okay. Then Lord was very pleased to show his form, like a since Lord Vishnu like was very pleased with the austerity of Kardama Muni, and he appears like okay. How he appears, that is being explained in the sloka 9 to 12. Okay, so Lord was very effulgent. Okay, he was garlanded with white lotuses, and he was wearing the silk garment. Okay, he was wearing a crown, and he was wearing an earring, Shankha, Chakra, and Gata. All is like a paraphernalia. He was coming with like a full-fledged this one on his vehicle, which is like a Garuda. On the back of Garuda, he was coming like a very effulgent. See that picture, like a though it is not that clear, but we can visualize like a Lord was so effulgent, like the whole sun. If it is coming like in front of you, how much effulgent will be like it would be more than that effulgent. Like Lord was that effulgent, like he was beautifully decorated with all this paraphernalia. And his Srivatsa and Kaustubha was very much visible on his like a blue chest. The Srivatsa and Kaustubha was very visible to Kardama Muni, and his hand was like on the shoulders of Garuda. That is how like the slokas are explaining the beautiful appearance of the Lord, like in that particular situation, in that particular scene. Okay. In that 11th sloka, it was very, very beautifully explained. A golden streak on his chest, the famous Kaustuva gem, suspended from his neck. Okay, he stood in the air with his lotus feet placed on the shoulders of Garuda. So he was just standing in the air, like with his lotus feet placed on the shoulders of Garuda. That is how like he was being placed, and he was giving the darshan to Kardama Muni. So by seeing this thing, like Kardama Muni was like uh, performing the austerity for like a 10,000 years, and he was so happy, so joyful, like to see this darshan of the Lord. Like then he is offering the obeisances. Okay, then because first Kardama Muni is like getting himself deserved to see the darshan of the Lord. Okay, then from 13 to 22nd sloka, Kardama's prayers like were explained. Okay, so he's saying perfection of eyes. Okay, that is very important. Our purpose of eyes is to have the darshan of the Lord. That is the only our purpose. Okay, so that has been very nicely explained. Justram Batadya Akila Satvarashesha Akshnos Tava Darshana Kanala Yad Darshanam Janmavir Idya Sabvir Asha Sati Yogina Ruddha Yogata. Okay, perfection of eyes, like it is the great sage said, O supreme worshipable Lord, my power of sight is now fulfilled, having attained the greatest perfection of the sight of you, who are the reservoir of all existence. Though through many successive works of deep meditation, advanced yogis aspire to see your transcendental form. So that is how, like he's saying, our whole purpose of our eyes is to see. Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. So our purpose of life is to see only the beautiful darshan of the Lord. If we have eyes, we have to ensure that every now and then, nityam, satatam, all the time, like we have to see the beautiful darshan of the Lord. That is the purpose the eyes been created. It has been explained by gopis also. They were saying like, okay, the whole purpose is like to see the beautiful form of the Lord in Vrindavan, while they were like roaming with like Balram and all the other gopas, and even they were like a little commenting to Lord Brahma also, why you created the eyelid. Because of the eyelid, like while it is closing and opening, like at that time we are unable to see the beautiful darshan of the Lord. Okay, so this has to be our takeaway. One of the takeaway, the perfection of our eyes is to see the beautiful form of the Lord. Okay, we have to remind ourselves every day, like okay, for this with this particular thing. Then he's saying many less intelligent, like okay, will do the devotion service or will do the worship for cheap material things. Okay, the devotees will perform the devotion service, will see the form of the Lord without any expectation. But many materialistic person, like okay, will perform the devotion service by having some desire, like, okay, I want to achieve something. For that reason, like, okay, I want to do this devotion service. Likewise, like, okay, they will do. So Kardama Muni is saying, okay, less intelligent people will do the devotion service like for cheap things. And he is saying, okay, I am also one of them, Lord. I am doing this 10,000 years of tapas only for to get the good wife. Like, okay, for that particular reason, I am doing this tapas. I am also less intelligent. Kardama Muni is saying, in one angle, I am also less intelligent because I am doing this tapas. I should not ask anything from you, but I am asking. I wanted to get a good wife. Like, okay, but then he is further explaining, okay, no, it is not only from that angle. Yes, I don't want to create the progeny because my father Brahma given the instruction to create the progeny and to expand the material world, to increase the population, who in turn got the instruction from you. Okay, since you requested Brahma to expand the progeny and to expand the material world, okay, to increase the population. For that reason, like a Brahma is asking me to do. So I am coming through via parampara. Since I am going to fulfill the instruction of Brahma, and by that, like, okay, Brahma is going to fulfill the instruction of you, the Lord. So it is coming as a bona fide, and it would be like, okay, on a spiritual platform as well. I am bound by the instruction of Brahma and you, so that, like, okay, I am doing it not for my sense pleasure, but to fulfill the instruction of you and Brahma. So please, like, grant me the wish of, like, okay, getting a good wife. So this is how, like, okay, acharyas are explaining. Kardama saying, in one angle, like, okay, it is less intelligent to ask something from you to get a good wife, but in another angle, like, okay, it is for a reason, not for my sense pleasure, but to fulfill your desire and to fulfill the instruction of you and Brahma. So then he is explaining surrendered souls, like, will be liberated. I am surrendered soul unto you. How he is explaining, like, okay, how are persons who given up the stereotypes, like, worldly affairs and the beastly followers of those affairs, and who have taken shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet. How we need a umbrella to protect ourselves from the rain. Similar way, like, to protect ourselves from this material rains, okay, material miseries, we need the hoof print of as umbrella of lotus feet of the Lord. Okay, by drinking the intoxicating nectar of your qualities and activities in discussion with one another. So that parasparam twad guna vada sidhu. Okay, that parasparam is mutually discussion between one another. Like, okay, one can be freed from the primary necessities of the material body. This is very, very important. Okay, that parasparam twat guna vada sidhu. Okay, so what we are doing today now, we are doing like a parasparan katha. Okay, we are discussing about the glories of the Lord, like, mutually. How Lord being created, like, Lord creates, like, Brahma and all the material energies, like, that is what we are discussing. That parasparam, it not necessarily like, hey, it has to be a big forum such as, like, okay, some 100 or like, okay, 1,000 people has to join, some big Maharaj has to come and speak, like, your the glorious speaker has to come and speak. No, not necessarily. When we are meeting, like, any person one to one, at that time also we have to do parasparanukathanam. We have to discuss about the glories of the Lord. Okay, the similar way, when we are at home, when we are discussing with our wife or like with our children, that also parasparanukathanam. It does not necessarily like have to be, okay, I have to discuss with devotees only. We often we never consider, like, okay, our family members as a devotee. We always like look something outside. No, we always like need to look inside, and like what is the souls, like who are the souls like surrounded within us. Okay, with them we have to do like, okay, parasparanukathanam. We have to discuss the glories of the Lord. We have to give them the knowledge. We have to get the knowledge. We have to exchange the knowledge. When we are exchanging this knowledge, like it would be multiplying, like so that has to be understood very thoroughly. Okay, so the same parasparanukathanam. Okay, and by doing that, this time does not affect the devotee. Like, okay, that has been explained in one of the Shrimad Bhagavatam sloka and the first canto also. Like, okay, for them the sun is not setting. Like, okay, but the one like who is not devoting their time like to discuss about the Lord, for them like, okay, the sun is like setting very fast. So that has to be understood. The same thing like, okay, been explained in 10.9 Bhagavad Gita also, like a machita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kadayanta chama nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Okay, that parasparam, it has to be discussed. Then in the same way, like in 11.3.30 also, one of the very important sloka, parasparanukatana pavanam bhagavat yashaha mitoratir mitastustir nivrittir, like a mita atmanaha. So one should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purified as ratir, like a attraction. Then mitas tustir, like then it will give the satisfaction. Then it will remove the material miseries, like a nivritir. Then mita atmanaga, then it will be like a very satisfying mutual for the soul. That is very important. That the in these three slokas, like, okay, the parasparanukathanam, like, okay, been explained over there. Then Kardama's prayer, like, okay, you alone, the creator, maintainer, and destroyer, like, okay, so let your causeless mercy upon us, like obedience us through your lotus feet. The Lord begins to speak, like by hearing all these things, Lord begins to speak. I already arranged for you for a wife, like he's saying. Swayambhu Manu's like, okay, daughter Devaguti, like will be your wife. Okay, here, Lord, before even like, okay, Kadamuni is asking, Lord fulfilling the desire, because he knows like, okay, what is there inside our heart, correct? Like our desire. Devotees' desire are never frustrated. Like, okay, Swayambhu Manu rules the earth. He will come day after tomorrow, like after one day, like he will come and he will deliver like his daughter Devati unto you. She will just be of your type, like, okay, because we know Kardama Muni was like a very devoted to do like a devotion service. So she also like will fulfill your desire, and she will be of your type. Like she will bring forth like a 9 daughters. Like that was we saw in that lineage. Then with your heart cleansed, you will finally attain me. You will see the universe in me, like, and me in everyone. So that we can see like a Lord in everyone and everyone in the Lord. Like I shall manifest as the Kapila Deva. So that also is explaining. So I will come as a Kapila Deva, like as your son, and I will teach the important thing of like the Sankhya philosophy, the analytical study of the matter and spirit. Okay. Then by saying all these things, like a Lord departed, like a Lord departed to like a Vaikuntha. Then Kardama waited for Manu. Then Swayambhu Manu arrives. Like, okay, Swayambhu Manu is arriving. All these things seen are happening in the Bindu Sarava, like filled with the tears of the Lord, filled with the waters of like a Saraswati. The trees on the shores of Bindu Sarava, like all those things being explained in this sloka 38, 39, 40. And 41 also, like a birds, bees, peacocks, like how they are representing, how they are like making the sound. The flowering trees adorning like the sarovara, like being explained. All these things like abounded by animals also. Then Kardama receives like a Manu and glorifies the kings like him, like that. That is what we have seen now. But Manu sees Kardama's appearance, shining and not emanation like a lotus sides, and Kardama received him with a due honor. Like, okay, this will help us. That is what I was mentioning. Kardama was a Brahmana, and the Swayambhu Manu was a Kshatriya. So while the Parasparam, like okay, mutual understanding and the glorification happens between the Brahmana and the Kshatriya, the society will prosper. Okay, that is what the whole thing is. Okay, Brahmana's duty is like to preach the knowledge to others. Kshatriya's duty is like to protect the Brahmanas and all the society members. Like, okay, this is how the society will flourish. Like the religious practice like he will flourish. That is very important. Then Karsama received him with due honor, like how Brahmana receives the Kshatriya. Then Kardama addresses Manu, like, okay, he was glorifying the Manu, like, okay, how he is ruling the world, ruling the kingdom, like, by protecting all the four Varnashrama people. Okay, then you employ like protecting the energy of the Lord. You are considering you are the servant, like you are not the master, because he is doing the service to the Lord, and none other than Lord Vishnu. Because like, okay, you are because, but in this sloka, like Kardama seeing the Vishnu in Swayambhu. Without you, like a Varnashrama Dharma will be destroyed, irreligion will increase, we will carry out our desire. Like, okay, that is how he's asking the last sloka, like, what is your purpose of, yeah, what is your purpose of life? Like, that is how he's explaining, okay, now I want my daughter to get married to you. Okay, so this is how like this whole chapter summary is being explained. Okay, there are a lot of takeaways. Like, okay, we have seen how our purpose of eyes is like to see the darshan of the Lord, and we have to do like a parashparanukatanam, like, okay, and we have to glorify the other devotees. Like, okay, we have to do this devotion service not on and off, like it has to be done all the time. Satatam mananyas chintayanto mam, satatam, like, okay, nityam, nirantara Krishna nama, like, okay, these are the things like we have to remind ourselves. So the key takeaways, like, okay, the biggest challenge is we are not keeping the biggest challenge back to Godhead as our biggest challenge. Like, so if we keep that, then we will, our aim and the goal would be like a focus to hear about the Lord or to preach Lord to the glories of the Lord to others. Okay, don't waste time. Like, keep connecting with Krishna and perform the devotional service. Perfection of our eyes is to see the darshan of the Lord. That is only the purpose of our eyes. Okay, then devotional service to be performed nityam asatatam. Then parasparanukathanam, like a discussion about the Lord, the desire to have, like, okay, the tatra lavlyam has to be there, like to discuss about the Lord to anyone, everyone is our goal of the life. Okay, connection with the Lord and contribution, like a service unto him by talking about his glories to others. Like, okay, that is what we live for, and we have to remember our repentance, and we have to do the penance, like to go out from this material world and decide between, like we have to think about, is it sense pleasure or like a more than the sense pleasure. We have to do this devotion service. Okay, so thanks for giving me the opportunity. Okay, please forgive me if I say something wrong. If you see like something good in this particular section, it is all due to the acharyas and the glories of, due to the preachings of the acharyas. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thanks for giving the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. It was a very flawless and nice presentation, Prabhuji. We got the entire summary so nicely, and the revision was really required because, you know, we with limited senses, limited intelligence to understand the entire canto or chapters is really, really difficult. Prabhuji, it was excellent. And Prabhuji, do we have time for question answers? Can we take? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, sure. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Krishnamurti Prabhuji, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna,
Hare-
Prabhuji. Pranam, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah.
Prabhuji, we have no
Yes, Prabhu.
voice. We have no voice to talk. Yes, because you have explained it like anything. I myself feeling you yourself the Suta Goswami or Shaunaka Goswami. Yes,
Not at
because
all.
you have rendered the Bhagavatam. You have presented the Bhagavatam like very easily. So how that knowledge just comes to you, Prabhuji? You are great. Really, I am no voice to talk about this, and then really I am not well versed in English. Just I am talking with you. I am grateful to you, Prabhuji. Please bless us to be in the platform of devotion forever till our last praising. This is the only prayer with you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, pranams, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhu, please, like, okay, don't glorify me. All glories
No.
to Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas. Like, definitely, I am very insignificant soldier in the Prabhupada's army. Thanks for this glorification. All this glorification will go to acharyas and Srila Prabhupada only. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, of course.
Hare Krishna.
Really, personally, I am not glorifying the what I have
Yeah,
learned, and that is voice from heart, not from my lips. That is from my heart. That I have put forth with you, Prabhuji. Sorry, I am very sorry if
No,
I made a mistake.
no.
Thank you,
No,
Hare
no.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Prabhu. Please
Pranam,
pass
pranam.
this knowledge to others also. So then Srila Prabhupada would be even more glorified, even more like he would be happy. Please pass it to others. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Dandavas
Krishna.
pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishnamurti Prabhuji actually voices all our voices. He is speaking for all of us. Padma Mataji, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, pranams. It's not a
Hare
question.
Krishna.
I just want to take a screenshot of that Manmantra chart, Prabhuji. Can you please display that?
I will share this. I will share this PPT also, Mataji, like a no problem. Yeah.
The whole thing, huh?
Yes, Prabhuji,
No,
that
Yeah,
would
whole
be
thing.
very
Yeah.
helpful.
No, this one. No, there
Yes.
were past one, Prabhuji, previous one. Yeah, this
This
one.
one. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
No,
This one
earlier
I just created, Mataji. There may be like some error also. This one I just created for the simplification of this one. Yeah.
No, earlier one also, Prabhuji,
Even the
please.
family tree was very helpful, Prabhuji. The
Yeah.
family tree really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Prabhuji, the previous one, Prabhuji, the white background.
Yeah, this one, Mataji. Yeah.
Just the one before. No, next one, next. Yeah, this one. Prabhuji, one. No. Earlier one. Yeah, this one, Prabhuji, 1 minute. Let me take a screenshot. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. We would really request you to come more often to give us, the knowledge of Shrimad Bhagavatam.
Hare
And thank you
Krishna.
so much for your association, Prabhuji.
Thanks a lot,
Shall we
Mataji.
do
Thanks
the
for
prayers, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thanks all for giving me the
Yes,
opportunity. Hare Krishna. Very
Hare
grateful
Krishna.
to this. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha
Patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo namo
namo
namo.
Anantakoti Vaishnava Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you,
All
Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Mataji,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, should
Thank
I
you,
end the
Prabhuji.
session with your
Prabhuji.
permission?
Yeah, please, Mataji. Please bless me.
Hare
Hare